just going to show you how to use GarageBand for your radio play for digital storytelling. So you can see here I've got a folder with all of my audio files in it. So what I did was I recorded things on my iPhone and then I just airdropped them onto my desktop. And I put them all in this folder just to make life easier, so that I knew where everything was. Also, you can see that I've named things quite precisely. Now, it's important to do this because really it will stop you having headaches when you get confused later on if you haven't named everything. So my protagonist is Janet, and you can see I've got 4 files for her there. So I've numbered them in the order that they should appear. Again, this will make my life easier when I drag everything into GarageBand. My secondary character is David. I've got a sound effect, which I got off one of the royalty-free websites, and I've got some music here, the soundtrack. Now, because the music has to be royalty-free as well, what I did was I actually composed this piece of music a couple of years ago using GarageBand, which is very easy to do, and maybe I'll do another tutorial to show you how to do that later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open GarageBand. It's going to open on a file I was using previously, so I'm just going to go up to File and select New. So this is what you'll see. It's a new project that you'll want, and it's an empty project, so you can keep the default there and just select Choose. And this is GarageBand. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the input. It's at no input, which is completely fine because we're going to again use the default, which is the record using a microphone or line input. So we're just going to select Create. Now you can see that it's created a file with a track already there called Audio 1. Now the name of that track will change as I start to drag the Janet files in there. So I'm going to bring the first Janet file, and notice the name's changed already. So the second one, Janet 3 and Janet 4. So next I'm going to bring in the David files, then my sound effects. Now generally speaking, music or soundtrack is the last track on the pane here. So let's have a quick listen, just to see where we're starting from. Okay, so first of all, you could hear that clicking sound. That's the metronome. We don't want the metronome on, so just click it to make sure that we're not going to hear that. Also here, you can see that the music, it's given me the tempo, which is 4/4, and the key signature, it's in C major. We don't need to know that for this project, so I'm going to change that to time, because of course time is important because your radio play has to be between 2 and 4 minutes. I'm going to move the playhead because this track already had a fade in. So I'm going to split this track. I'm going to cut it so that I can get rid of that fade in, and then I can show you how to create a fade in. So it's going to split where the playhead is, and all you do is press Command T, and you can see that it's now two different tracks or 2 different files on that track. So if I press delete, it's going to get rid of the part of the track that's highlighted, that's selected. I don't want that bit to disappear. So I'm going to change what's selected and then hit delete, and it's gone. Okay, let's have a listen to this. Moving the playhead to the beginning and hitting the space bar. Okay, that's much better the way it starts. However, it doesn't sound finished if you just start full volume. So I'm going to need to fade this in. So this is where we start doing the mixing. So I need to adjust the volume. Now I can adjust it here, but I don't really see a lot. So I'm going to go up to the mixing menu and I'm going to select Show Automation. Now these yellow lines here, that's the volume level. So I can move this up or down, and you can see on the volume slider it moves as well. Now, it's probably going to be, when the dialogue's happening, probably that level is enough. Let's just have a listen. Yeah, that's nice and soft, isn't it? However, we probably want it a bit louder at the beginning. Now, to change the volume in little increments, you can see you've got a circle here. I have to create more circles here. So I'm going to fade in, okay? I'm going to fade in like that. But then, at a certain point, I'm going to, again, fade down to where I want the level during the dialogue. So let's just listen to that, and let's just bring Janet a little bit over here. Okay, let's listen to that from the beginning.
Oh, so many boxes. I'm never going to be...
Okay, I'm just going to move that a little bit so it fades more. So let's just move her there. Okay, let's just have another listen.
Oh, so many boxes.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be finished packing.
I like that. Okay, so the next thing that happens, according to my script, is the phone goes. So I'm going to move the sound effect to about there. Now, if you're trying to line things up, it's a good idea to use your this. I can see that she finishes talking there. I don't want the phone to go straight away. I want there to be a little bit of silence in between. So let's just listen to that.
Finished packing.
Again, that's just a little bit too close. So let's just have a listen
Finished
now.
packing.
Yeah, I think that works. So use the playhead as a kind of measuring device. I'm just going to make it a little bit further. Okay. Now, the phone goes and she answers it. So it's going to be Janet 2 is the next piece of dialogue. So again, I'm going to just use this as a measuring device. That's where the phone ringing finishes. So you want to give her, you know, a little bit of time to actually pick it up and answer it. So let's listen to this.
I'm never going to be finished packing. Hey, stranger, long time no hear.
Oh. Obviously, his dialogue needs to happen a lot sooner. Now, just thinking of that, I'm actually not happy with that, so I'm going to go back and change this. I'm going to bring this just a little bit closer. And this is what this project's like. There's a lot of trial and error. You need to listen to things, change the position of things, listen again. Because remember, that's one of the things that you're being marked on. You're being marked on the quality, so how clean your recording is. So these recordings are very clean. You're being marked on the mixing, which is what we're doing now with the levels, yeah, or what we did. You're also being marked on the choice and the placement of the music and the sound effects. So that's what I'm working on now, the placement. So I'm just going to move everything using my playhead as a measuring device. I'm just going to move everything into the position. You can see that where there's a flat line on the track, that just means that nothing's happening, okay? So you can actually line things up and then have a bit of a listen. Now, this one finishes, David finishes there, and I can't get any closer because of this file there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually split this one. So remember, you select where the file you want to split, and you're going to put the place head where you want it to split. It's Command T and then delete. So now I can bring her further in to David so that so the conversation sounds more natural. And I'm just going to go down and do all of that, and then we're going to have a bit of a listen. Again, I'm just going to do the same here. Now I can move that over and it can go like that, and it automatically if I do Command Z, so can you see, let's just say here, okay, if I want to bring that a bit closer, it just automatically splits it. So you can do it that way, or you can do it the Command T way. Okay, let's just have a listen from the very beginning.
Oh, so many boxes. I'm never going to be finished packing.
That's much better, the placement.
Hey, stranger, long time no hear.
How's Dubai?
Oh, Dubai is great. I'm so glad I transferred here.
When do you start?
I start on Sunday, morning shift.
Okay, that there was just a little bit close, because of course, you know, when you're asked a question, sometimes you've got to think, don't you, before you answer.
Transferred here.
When do you start?
I start on Sunday.
So maybe just a little bit more, because it's got to sound natural.
Transferred here.
When do you start?
I start on Sunday, morning shift. Not looking forward to getting up at 5 a.m. But it'll be okay.
Okay, so I like how that's developed there. Now, if I go up here and I make that the smallest, you can see the dialogue has finished here where the playhead is, but the music continues until about 3.5 minutes. So obviously I don't want that much just music. However, what I'm going to do is, I feel that there's, you know, we need to have another character in there. So I'm going to create another track. Now I want the third character to come under David. So I'm going to select the David track, and if I press the plus here, that's going to create a new track. Now, because I'm recording live, I have to have input. So I'm just going to move it to input 1. It can be input 1, input 2, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to pick input 1 and create. Notice that the new track has been created under the track that was previously selected. I'm going to change the name of this track straight away, so I'm going to right click on it, rename track, and I'm going to call this Dr. Sarah. Okay, now when you record live, I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger so that we can see things better. So when you record live, you hit the record button up here, but what happens is the metronome does 4 counts, and it's after that 4th count that you actually start speaking. So let's try this. Janet, I need you in surgery right away. Hurry! Okay, so let's just listen to that. Janet, I need you in surgery right away. Hurry! Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we've already discussed the things that I'm going to be looking for when I'm marking your work. Remember, you have to have all 4 of the audio elements in your recording. We've got voice, we've got music, we've got sound effects, and we're going to have some silence, because there's going to be some silence between Janet's last piece of dialogue and Dr. Sarah. So remember, silence can mean a passing of time. So we've got all 4 elements in there. But remember, you're also being marked on your use of effects. Now, you're expected to have at least 1 effect in there. Now, if you hear David's voice, that's actually me on the recording, but it doesn't sound like me because I've already got an effect on there. Let's just listen.
No here.
How's Dubai?
So what I did was I used pitch shift to lower my voice so it sounded a little bit more masculine. So the effects you could use are pitch shift, stretch, or you could just add a little bit of reverb on there. So let me just show you how to add effects in GarageBand. So I'm going to go to my library. Now, if you don't see library, all you have to do is go up to View and Show Library, and it will magically appear. Now, it's the voice that we're dealing with. So remember, whatever track is selected, that's the voice that you're going to change. So David's voice, let me see, we could have, what's fuzz vocal like? Let's listen to David's fuzz vocal.
Stranger, long time no hear.
How's Dubai?
Oh, yes, you can, it is fuzzy, isn't it? Don't like it at all. Let's look at the experimental ones. So we could have, let's try helium vocal.
Stranger, long time no hear. How's Dubai? Oh, Dubai.
Okay, that might suit a, if your story is about a cat and a mouse, that could be like a mouse voice, but it certainly doesn't suit David. So none of the experimental ones are going to work for there, but you've got a megaphone voice, a monster vocal, and a robot vocal as well. This was the one that I used, deeper vocal. That's how I changed my voice. I just made it a bit deeper. If I choose that one now, it's going to make the deep voice even deeper.
Stranger, long time no hear.
How's Dubai?
That makes it very deep. Okay, so what I'm going to actually use is the telephone vocal. So let's just have a wee bit of a listen.
Hey stranger, long time no hear.
How's Dubai?
Oh,
So that kind of sounds like one of those old phones, doesn't it? But I want to add reverb to it as well. So what I'm going to do is here. So I've just clicked on that menu and I'm going to add reverb. So that's just going to add a very slight echo to it. That'll make him sound like he's in like an empty room. So let's have a listen.
long time no hear.
How's Dubai?
Oh, Dubai.
Right, so that's pretty good because I've got 3 effects on there. I've already deepened the voice, I've used telephone vocal, and I've used reverb. Okay, so we've got all of our effects in place. We're getting ready to finishing this recording. So just as we started with a fade in, it's really important to end with a fade out. Again, if you just finish it, just cut the music off completely. It sounds unfinished. It doesn't create a really nice finishing atmosphere. So Dr. Sarah, she finishes her dialogue there. So I'm just going to go a little bit further. Yeah, I'm going to go to there, I think. No, to there. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this track and I'm going to Command T to split it, and I'm getting rid of that. So now it's about the fade out. So she finishes here. Now we're going to actually increase the volume just a little bit, and then we're going to fade out. So again, we need to put those circles in there. So I'm going to increase this, yep, to about the same level there. That's roughly the same. And then I'm going to fade out. Remember, you need to just click on the line there to create those circles in order to change the volume. So let's have a little listen.
Hurry!
Yeah, we could probably fade out a little bit more, but I kind of like that. So it's
Hurry!
It's nice to bring that music in strong and then to fade out. And that's where we're going to finish it. Now, before you save your file, remember you need to take a screenshot. So Command Shift 4 and take a screenshot of your multi-tracks. And remember, that goes into your PDF. Okay, so we're now ready to save it. I'm just going to move my my playhead to where my recording finishes, and now I'm going to go up to share. Now, if you choose share song to music, that song will go to the music here, and it will, if you haven't got a GarageBand playlist already, it will automatically create a GarageBand playlist and you'll find it in there. However, ours isn't, we're not going to do that, so ours won't end up there. What we're going to do is we're going to share, and we're going to export song to disk. We choose this option because we need to create an MP3 file. So here you can choose the file type you want. Of course, we want MP3. We're going to keep the quality as a high quality, but here we're going to actually just put in we're going to use the naming convention that you're expected to use for the project. So you're going to use your first name, your second name, your family name, if I can spell mine right, and your HID number. Okay, and then you're just exporting, and you will see it appear on my desktop, and you can see that it's MP3. Now, if I did go to share song to music, let's just have a look at this. Again, always when you're saving anything that you've made for digital storytelling, always save it as the naming convention, okay, that you're expected to have. So I'm just going to put that in again. And share it. And if I open my music in GarageBand, you'll see there it goes down the bottom there.
Oh, so many boxes.
And that file is, it's 52 seconds. So I would mark myself down for that. Now, if I just drag that to my desktop, the reason we don't save it that way is you can see this is an M4A file. You are expected to submit an MP3, so that's why we don't save it to music. Okay, so remember, don't choose song to music, choose export song to disk. Okay, so that's basically it. So now you know how to just drag your files, your individual files into GarageBand. You know how to add effects, you know how to play with placement and position, and you know how to save it. So I wish you all the best in making your radio play, and I can't wait to listen to them.